Hi everyone, it's Spencer here with Spencer's Stuff. Welcome to the community. I appreciate you being here. Today we're going to be talking about the PS5 Pro and my overall impressions of the console. While I understand that some people might be a little bit more upset than I am about it, I'm actually very excited for the PS5 Pro. Granted, there are a few things that I do agree with the community on that I think need to be talked about. But before I jump into everything, I ask that you please hit that like button, subscribe, and of course, ring that bell notification icon so you're informed of everything I upload in the future. Thank you so much. I'm going to talk about the things that I agree with the community on first off, and particularly it's the price. I understand the price being so high, being a bit of a turnoff. At this price range, consoles need to include a disk drive, and they should include any sort of stand necessary for the console. I don't care what anyone says. I know Sony's trying to cut costs in other ways, but if you're going to give us this hardware and it's going to be a niche product, you really should be including some of the stuff in there that a niche product has. And this is one of those things that I do not agree with Sony on. You should have a disk drive, especially when you're going to be touting that other games or physical games from the PS4 or previous generation games that might not be digital can use this console, depending on the developer. There's supposed to be an option to increase the resolution and frame rates of old PS4 titles as well as PS5 titles, and meanwhile, if we have a disc collection on PS4, if you don't have the disc drive, you can't use them, and that is extremely frustrating if you're a PS4 owner. And included with this in the price, you're looking at $800 for the disc drive and the console, and then another, what was it, 40 bucks for the stand, I think it is. So you're looking at 840 US dollars. You're getting into some territory there that I think is a little bit too high. And I don't even want to talk about how much it costs over in Europe. It's gonna be almost 1,000 euros for everything, because it's 100 bucks more expensive or 100 euros more expensive. That is insane to me. We're getting into really high territory here when you talk about the pricing on the PS5 Pro, and I'm not really a big fan of that personally. We are not seeing enough games. It's really that simple. Sony, you need to start releasing some stuff that's not on PS4 and that is built for the PS5, PS5 Pro, because there's a lot of people out here who are wanting to see the graphical leap that haven't seen it yet. We are all paying for these consoles. We've had them out for some time, and it's getting frustrating not getting any first-party titles announced or seeing the massive jump that we're expecting when we're buying an expensive console. And I completely understand the community's frustration when it comes to this. So Sony, please work on your games, or at least announce some. I want to see some Ghost of Tsushima 2. I want to see some new Naughty Dog games. I want to see some of the first-party titles. I want to see maybe Gran Turismo take that next step forward. I don't know what they're going to do. It's a racing game, so what more can they do? But we got to start seeing something when it comes to the next gen consoles, because frankly, this generation has been the worst in terms of the game quality and overall games coming out for these consoles. It needs to be better. There is one thing that I want to talk about though that's kind of been irking me about this community, specifically YouTubers and a few others that I've read online or comments on Facebook page, Instagram, other things. We don't need this. We don't need this. I don't want this. Who cares if you don't want it? Don't buy it. There's your simple answer. You want to play games on your PS5? Play your games on your base PS5. Don't even think about it. Don't even buy a Pro. You don't need it. But instead, people produce complaint after complaint after complaint about a Pro model. In my opinion, I want the consumer to have as many choices as possible within a reasonable amount. The Series X and Series S, I don't like the Series S because it creates a bottom line that is really hindering the performance of the current generation. But when you have a PS5 to a PS5 Pro, I think this is a great option. I want to have a Pro model. This product is an enthusiast product, it's a niche product, and it's guided towards people who are hardcore gamers, as well as that people who pay for more premium products. I pay for nicer TVs, I paid for really nice speakers, I have a full home theater system that I really love to play games on, and frankly the PS5 base is not up to snuff when it comes to performance modes in terms of fidelity. The PS5 base is unable to maintain resolutions that are great for a 4K TV, especially at larger sizes. If you are running a Walmart TV or a cheap TV that looks like crap and a crappy soundbar, You're not going to get the same experience that I am in my room. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to say that out loud to every community person out there. I'm buying the PS5 Pro because I have a setup that is built for the PS5 Pro. That being said, you can still play every game that I can play, and there's no issues whatsoever in you playing on the base PS5. So move forward. I want to buy the PS5 Pro, and there's a lot of other people out there who will. It is so frustrating arguing with communities and different groups of people who cannot understand that there are people who like premium products. But meanwhile, I'm going to say this too. The same people complaining are sitting on their $1,400, $1,500 iPhones or Galaxy or whatever else that they just bought and are upgrading every year or two, and they're saying that this is too expensive as well. It's just kind of hypocritical in my opinion. So I'm going to play the devil's advocate in that sense as well. I think it's getting overblown quite a bit, and frankly, there are people out there who are going to buy the Pro model, and it is what it is. But I'm going to start moving into the few things that I really am excited for the PS5 Pro. As a PS5 owner myself, there are some things that, the PS5 just can't do. It doesn't do ray tracing well, and I really don't like having to choose between a performance mode and a fidelity mode. And that was one of the things that they hammered in when they talked about this console. Personally, I really like the idea of having PSSR. I know a lot of people don't understand what this can do, but when you're playing on a big TV, when you're on a performance mode and the resolution is much lower, you're getting such a soft image when playing games, and there's just no upsampling that happens at all, and it looks kind of bad, honestly. With PSSR, this is a chance to have not only the performance mode look better, but if you're going to get all the extra graphical power and you're going to be able to get a little bit more fidelity out of the picture, you're expecting the console to look so much better on a big TV. And that is one of the things that I am most excited for, because I don't play games on a small TV. I mean, granted, this is only a 65-inch TV behind me, but I'm planning on going into the 85-inch territory, and there's people out there who play on TVs that are even bigger than what I play on. We need to accommodate to some of those people, and I fully understand that there's some people who do not understand how DLSS, PSSR, any of this is going to work, but this AI-driven upscaling is a huge game changer if it works out really well, and this is one of the features that I really think is going to push this console forward. It's going to offer some great image quality, especially on the bigger screens, but even on the smaller screens, you're going to offer so much more minute detail in this performance modes and fidelity mode. It's a great feature to have, and I think it's the future of a lot of games. One of these next features, although it's not really that important, is ray tracing, and I really am excited for it. The reason really is just for immersion. If the game is great already and they do put out some good titles with some great ray tracing, I think it really adds to the immersion of the environment. And I know a lot of people are all like, oh, it's only gameplay that matters. Gameplay is the only thing. Personally, I think the environment is just as important because it's what sells you on that world and provides you that immersion into that world. For me personally, games like Red Dead Redemption, Ghost of Tsushima, at the time Skyrim, several other games really immersed me in the environments because I was able to trick my brain into saying it's believable. With ray tracing, it's going to add that next level of detail and immersion in the lighting itself that your eye will almost perceive as reality. And if you have the TV that can produce these colors and this image, you're going to be in a very good spot when it comes to immersion. Honestly, I think it's a great feature to have, and I look forward to seeing how it progresses on the PS5 Pro and even into the PlayStation 6. One thing that really wasn't talked about, and I think is going to be a really great opportunity for us PSVR 2 owners, is a chance for better performance in games. For me personally, I play Gran Turismo 7 a lot with my PSVR 2 and the racing wheel, and it provides a super immersive experience. That being said, the 60 FPS is really hard to get around. Even though it's interpolated up to 120 FPS, there's a ton of ghosting that goes on within the headset, and it can honestly get to be a little bit nauseating. So for me, I would really like to see a nice performance bump. Included with this, I've played No Man's Sky, and it doesn't run the best. I think that if we can get the PS5 Pro and PSVR 2 jiving really well, we're going to be offering, or at least getting offered, a lot of great games for the headset itself. It feels like we're kind of in no man's land still with the PSVR 2, and I feel like we could really take that next step forward when it comes to the PS5 Pro. In summary, I think the PS5 Pro is going to be a fun console, a great console. I think it's just getting a lot of backlash right now because there's nothing out yet and you can't actually see it or see the actual performance in your hands. I think some of this negativity will die down once the console actually comes out, sort of like how it did with the PS4 Pro. That being said, I think that there need to be more games coming out, but I really am excited to see what they can do in terms of performance for all these future games. I think we're going to be offering a really fun experience, a really niche product that a lot of people like me are going to be able to enjoy. And maybe it's not built for, the masses, but if the masses want to take that next step or next upgrade, they can. And that's a great thing. In my opinion, as a consumer, the more options, the better, as long as it's not hindering everything else. And in this case, I think the PS5 to the PS5 Pro is a great mid-generation leap for those who want the best graphical performance and fidelity. I hope you all liked this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'm sure I've rattled a lot of people and I've already frustrated a lot of them based off of what I said earlier, but it is what it is. So anyway, hope you all liked this video. Have a great day, great evening, whatever it might be in your area, and I will see you all later. Thank you so much for watching. She's excited for the PS6 or PS5 Pro.
Well, which is it?
$700.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, even though you'll be able to play all the same games on the base PlayStation 5.
Darn.
Darn.